How you doing today?
Can you, I'm doing well. How are
Yes.
you? Thank
Awesome.
you for
Awesome. Awesome.
joining me. It's so
Pleasure.
good to see your face.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thanks for
Shout out to my
giving us this chance.
African ABC. I just call it African Business Club Fellow.
Is this
Thank you
club?
guys
Yep.
for all you do on the platform.
Yep.
I
Oh,
feel
thank you.
like
Thank you.
that WhatsApp group is the best thing that has happened right after sliced bread. There's not been anything
Oh.
better. I'm telling you. So
Thank you for that.
thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I really do hope more of you will come. I know a lot of people who kind of just want to talk about scholarships. When I want to do scholarship stuff, we have 1,000 people. But I really
Wow.
hope that you would join because I feel like, our community has been
Mm-hmm.
known to be the worker and not really the people who benefit from how money works. We
True.
work for
True.
money, and money don't work for us.
That's
So
true.
it is my hope. Last year when I December last year, I shared online and said, "Oh, in 2019, I bought 2 houses," and everyone was freaking out and asking, "How the hell did you buy 2 houses?" And there were a lot of questions about, people asking me, "How do you do it?" So in January, one of the things I shared on my platform was a budget template. I wanted people to understand, how do you
Okay.
budget, and then finding African Business Club. I've learned a whole lot about how do I trade stocks,
Mm-hmm.
how do I become a day trader, how do I become a long-term investor. And I don't have student loan because I got scholarship, but I have a
That's
couple of
awesome.
people in my life who have tons of student loans, and they're wondering and saying, I can't start investing now because I still have to pay all the student loan. So
Mm.
we have you here, a Ramsey coach. If you don't know Dave Ramsey, you probably need to find that guy's podcast and buy his books and get
I
yourself
know.
aligned as a disciple.
Just follow all these things, right?
Yeah. So when I saw your profile, like you're a Ramsey coach, I felt like, no, this is the right guy to talk to people in our community. Whether you are
Mm-hmm.
moving here from Nigeria or Ghana or several places, or you're already here in the West, maybe you live in Europe, you live in Canada, you live in the US, we want to teach you today how money works. We want you to know
Yes.
exactly what you need to do to get your budget aligned, to get your life aligned,
Mm-hmm.
to know about your personal finance. Today I have with me Funshaw. So Funshaw is one of the leaders in the African Business Club that I'm a part of. If you want my phone number indirectly, you probably want to join that WhatsApp group because I'm on there asking questions like I'm a novice. I feel like I want to share with you some of the things that make me who I am. If some of you have
Mm-hmm.
wondered, Dr. Hadi, you have it all together. It's because I'm a constant learner. I
That's
join
true.
groups such as African Business Club to learn new things about how money works, to be able to understand how to invest my money, how do I manage my budget, how do I pay off my debt if I have
Mm-hmm.
any. And today I brought one of the coaches who has been training me and teaching me to share with you. So wherever you are, I hope you have your journal ready to take notes. I got
Take notes,
mine.
right?
So Shaw, welcome to Quarantine with Dr. Hadi. Whenever you are ready, please introduce yourself and we're ready for you.
Awesome. No, thank you so much for this opportunity. I do appreciate it. And so I'm like Dr. Addy said, right? I'm with African Business Club. And so let me quickly give an intro, right? So ABC or African Business Club, our goal is to normalize financial literacy, to push for more networking and collaboration. So one thing we have as Africans, right? We don't tend to share ideas amongst ourselves, right? So each person is doing different things at different angles, right? So ABC, our goal and our mission is to bring people, Africans of like minds, bring them together, right? Networking, collaboration, but also normalize financial literacy. So right, sex and money are never spoken at the African homes, right? no one talks about sex or money. It's almost like a taboo,
Yes.
right?
Oh
And
my
but
God. I want to chip in a story. Like I kind of wanted to talk to my dad about sex. My dad is a common person. And then you start to talk to my mom about sex. She will speak in tongues and go from, and with money, African parents never talk about money. No,
no.
they don't talk about their debts. They don't talk about their problems with money. You cannot teach them how money works because they feel like they know more than us.
Mm-hmm.
This does
Mm-hmm.
not help our community at all.
At
No.
all. So what happens is, people we've all been told like become an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, right? So you become all these professions, right? But then no one teaches you how to manage money. So at home, it's not taught, right? In school, also, it's not. So people leave school, they leave homes, and they have no clue how money works. And we just have this cycle from one generation to the next, right? Where we just struggle financially. So the goal of ABC is to normalize financial literacy. So that's one of our goals. So for those online, if you want to join, reach out to Dr. Addy, we can have you join the group. We have quite a growing community, right, of different professions, right? So we are building a platform where people can learn more about financial literacy. So that's ABC. So on my side, so I'm an engineer by trade, right? You know, like the African stereotype, right? Engineer, doctor, lawyer, engineer, right? So, so I'm an engineer by, but I like numbers, I like tech. So my own story came about a decade ago, where I was an engineer, right? I was working, making good money. Then I left that job to do some things, but it just didn't work out. So I was left with no job and no money, and I struggled for like a year or so with no money. So that was my own enlightenment. Right? Wow, this is interesting. So yeah, I was from school making money. The next year, no money, I'm broke. I'm using credit cards. I'm just in debt, right? So the year after that, when I started making money again, like, you know what? I need to learn how money works. So my story was I went from having no money to now building almost seven-figure net worth, right? Based on just learning how money works. There was nothing special. There was nothing extravagant, just managing money well. And that's how I was going to build my own net worth, right? Then I went, how can I help others achieve the same goal? How can I teach them how money works? So I became a Dave Ramsey financial coach. So I help people with budgeting, with investing, how money works, insurance, just helping them manage money well. So a coach is just someone that helps you achieve your goals. So I'm helping people achieve those financial goals, right? Then ABC came into play where, a good friend of mine we're discussing, and we kind of linked up on Instagram, right? We were friends before that, but we linked up on finances, right? And since then, we've just been a perfect match, right? Where we've been pushing more people on ABC to understand financial literacy, understand businesses, right? So we have a session every Sunday or every other Sunday where we have different topics. This last week was a topic on buying back the block. So it was a great session.
I loved it.
Awesome.
I love buying
awesome.
back the block. So my husband's
Awesome.
an accountant, he knows a lot about finance and stuff like that. But I still made him join, and we all learned a lot from buying back the blocks. How we can actually buy real estate without having to invest a lot of money.
Yep.
It was a very good session, guys. I really feel like you don't have to live abroad before you join these groups. If you're living abroad right now, you live in Canada or the US, you should talk to me about wanting to join ABC. I'm going to link you up with a group. It's a WhatsApp group. So there are a lot of resources that get shared there about how to manage your money. There are a lot of coaches there. I have learned a lot about financial literacy. I have learned to buy long-term stocks. I have learned to trade stocks that you sell it in 3 seconds. Oh yeah. Oh no. Make your 10%. Walk away. They've taught me a whole lot, and I feel like you, my Instagram family, my Twitter family, my Facebook family, you are family. You follow me for a reason. You follow me because you feel like I'm making an impact. You feel like you want to be like me. One thing again, apart from the fact that Africans don't share information, is that we don't share the truth about who we are. How did you get to where you are? We are very vague in our description. People just kind of describe it vaguely and say, thank the Lord for everything he has done for me. I have made money. I have invested it to the glory of God. Exactly. Tell us, what did you do? What are the steps? Who coached you? What did they tell you to do? People don't really share this. And I have made it my job to say, if you're going to follow my platform, you're going to see me shine. I'm going to wear Gucci. But just so you know, I'm not using all my money to buy Gucci. That Gucci is the gain from the stocks that I made last week. I just took my profits and I say, I want to buy Gucci, right? I could take that money and say, I want to just buy real estate. I want you to know how money works, because this is important. And that is why we have a coach in the house today to let you know, how should you invest the little you have? How should you pay off your debts, right? What are the steps in really personal finance as a person? And I think this is applicable wherever you are in the world, right?
Exactly.
So if you're interested in African Business Club, first go and follow their page. You can go and ask them on their page for their link. This is not a promo. Let me tell you, I'm a testifier for free. I am promoting African Business Club because for 4 months when Ayo, my friend Ayo Akikuloe, it was the one who added me because he knows he said, Addy, I'm going to add you because you're all about your career and your finance. You need to add them aligned. So come on, align your finance in this.
Exactly.
For 3 months, my husband and I started having good conversations in the house because before when he tells me about this, I don't know money. So I'm always saying, no, I don't want to do it that way. This group has helped our conversations on money because now I understand where it's coming from. You know?
Yes.
So sometimes he'll tell me, so you need to go and hear from them before you believe. I say, not that, but I have to confirm the story.
Let me confirm.
I need more data points. So, and on the group, there's so many validation of different things he's been telling me all along. And we're both learning a lot more from the group. So people, this is my secret, my hiding place that I'm bringing you into, where you can really be, you know, I want you to level up. I don't want you to come abroad, be working, toiling day and night. You just make this 60,000 a year, and that is all you make, right? So you pay rent, you pay food, and you pay for your children's schools, and you don't have anything left. And that's true. You are living in a nice house. You have also gone and carried Mercedes Benz, and everybody back home is thinking you are rich. But we know deep down that your children cannot go to school without student loan.
That's powerful.
You know you will get student loan because you have not made the right financial decisions to be able to save a little part of what you're making. Or you have this student loan. You have 150,000 student loan because you have a master's degree in America. All your schools, you've done it on debt. And now somebody's talking about investment. You're looking at them and saying, are you serious?
I know what's going on.
If you are here today, you are in luck. Ogafishaw is going to break it down for us, but I also don't want you to just take it and go. Follow their page. I'm not advertising. I'm telling you the truth. Follow the page. Join the WhatsApp group if they let you in, and start to collect all the information. When they say something download on Africa, I download it and I'll put it in my Google Doc. I'm aligning all the information I'm collecting is in Google Doc, all aligned for different purposes. I don't just look at the post and go. There are some links. I'll just copy the link. I'll put it in my Google Doc for different things because I have to learn these things. I want my children to not only live in America, I want them to own companies. My goal for my children is they will not go and work in corporate America where somebody is telling them they are niggas. They will own the company. They need to own the damn company. So let me come and see who will call my child, who is the MD or the CEO, a nigga in your company. You'll be fired.
Exactly.
We cannot just come here and hustle and not leave legacy. We can't come here and just come here. We have not come to America or Canada to just come here. We have come here to lead, to dominate, to win.
Exactly.
You know, on African Business Club, you guys call us kings and queens. Whatever you call us, that I remember my roots. My name is Adiola. I am a princess.
Addy,
for real.
Exactly.
So I need to live up to expectation of the name that my parents gave me. And even if I cannot live to the fullest of it, my children must live to the fullest of it. If you are here, you're an African, you are listening to this today, I want you to take it serious. It's not only scholarship. When you get scholarship and come to America and finish school and get a job, the money you're going to make, this is what you need to know to be able to manage it effectively.
Exactly.
And even when you're in Nigeria, you need to save up to come to Canada. I need you to learn today so that you'll be able to save up the money you need to be able to go to Canada. You know, Black empire, Black businesses, Black economy. We need to flourish.
Buy Black. We have to. That's because
I'm taking over a conversation. Right? It's not my conversation. I'm just very
but what you said is powerful though, because think about it, right? Like I'll say this in Yoruba, right? Someone told me before that Baba mi Toshi, Oma Buddha Toshi. Like it has to stop from somewhere, right? So someone has to say, you know what? I'm gonna be the one to change the narrative for my family, right? I'm gonna be the one to say enough is enough, right? We can't just be suffering every single generation, man. At some point we have to stop and but it takes someone to make the sacrifice, right? And say, I'm going to change the narrative for my family. So the future generations, right, they will never ever know pain or sorrow. But it takes one person to say no, and that person will sacrifice, but they will make a big difference though. So no, it's powerful. Like what you said, you know, just your name, Adiola. Imagine begging for a job, begging, hey, we have to do better than that, right? So no, that's powerful.
We have to do better.
That's powerful.
All right, whenever you're ready, I can start sharing the slides, or
Oh,
we can.
sure. Yeah, let's go and start. So for today's session, we want to discuss getting out of debt. So that's one of the biggest things today that is pretty much a big roadblock for people to build wealth. People have student loans, credit cards, car loans, right? So that's a big stumbling block, right? I know people want to invest, which is fine. I do that as well. Much of my net worth came from investing and real estate. But to get to that point, you need to find ways to cut back on your debt as much as possible. So we're going to go through some slides to discuss more about, okay, how do you get out of it? When people have that questions, how do I pay off my student loans? How do I pay off my car loans, my credit cards, right? So this is just a quick summary showing the average person that has loans at about 50K in student loans, about 20K in auto loans, and about 20K in credit cards. So if you have this big burden, you're pushing up against the ear, right? When nothing goes back, man, you could pretty much wipe people off. And they find that they can never build wealth because they just, money is coming in, it's going out, coming in, going out, coming in, going out to all these bills, right? And we can never build wealth if that's the case.
Yes.
We cannot build wealth if that's the case. So if you go to the next slide.
I wanna add a few things to this.
Sure.
So you may wonder, how do I incur these loans? How do I incur this amount of debt? One of the reasons why people incur these loans is because you have to go to school, right? It's not only, you know, when I was in school, I got scholarship, but my scholarship wasn't like a almighty scholarship that offered me everything under the sun. Instead of getting student loan to add to my stuff to be able to be comfortable, I went to work. I went to work at Sephora as a sales girl. So instead of getting student loan, so whatever I was getting, I was using it to augment my scholarship. And I knew at that point, some of the students, instead of going to work part-time, they went and collect loan. If you're in that category, I want to admonish you and encourage you. You are in school right now. Please don't go and get loan if you can go and work 20 hours per week to be able to subsidize. Also on auto loan. So when I got out of school, I want to talk about instant gratification, right? When people finish, you have been in school for 4 years or for 6 years, you feel like, oh, my life I've been struggling. And now you want to start your first job.
Exactly.
Because you felt like, I've been working hard.
You want to flex.
I need to drive a brand new car. And in this part of the world, if anyone relocate to Canada or America, tomorrow you saw them writing brand new car. Let me tell you, they have a loan. They are financing that car. So don't let anybody tension you if you're in Nigeria or Ghana. Don't let anybody tension you with the car that they have gone and carried. Well, if they kind of have a house, you know, they have been here for 1 year, now they bought a house, they put it on social media. Don't let them tension you. It's mortgage that they've collected, and those are loans.
Exactly.
Now, when I graduated, I needed a car because I got this job, and I was told to sell my car that I was using in Saskatchewan and come and buy a new one. Some of the advices that Black people give are the dumbest advice ever. Whoever told me to sell my Kia Sportage in 2007 actually did me wrong. I should have brought that car to Ontario and start to use my car like that. They told me to sell it off and not have to drive it over or move it over. Then I got to Ontario. They started convincing me and saying, don't buy used car, oh, it's too hard to maintain. Go and carry brand new car. People are carry Kia Sportage, brand new, oh, 28,000. I went to carry that car, basic Kia Sportage. And it's not like this car is even high up there or anything. I didn't need to incur that 28,000 debt. What am I saying?
Exactly.
If you are a student, you can delay your gratification. That instant gratification that somebody is telling you buy a brand new car, you are going to put debt into your life. Do not listen to them. Go and find Lexus. You know, as I am, let me tell you what.
But on that.
Go and buy. I have a Lexus 2007. He has leather seats. Odro Dada. I can buy 6 houses. But a car will depreciate in value. It will not appreciate.
Exactly.
So anybody can say, I'm a typical professor. Yes, I'm a typical professor. I'm a Dave Ramsey follower. We don't buy brand new car. So open your ears. So don't finish school and go and carry brand new car because someone's telling you, oh, it's reliable. Go and buy Lexus. Oh, Lexus is also reliable.
Buy Toyota, buy Honda.
Buy Toyota, buy Honda. You don't need, you can avoid these debts. You can avoid them by working part-time, doing a little more. You can avoid it by not looking at what will people say if they see me in that car. I have some people who are my friends who are on here who are telling me my Lexus is not prestigious. It doesn't fit my life. All of you, they're telling you, it doesn't. You have a PhD. You are not poor. You don't leave me alone.
So, but that's, let me tackle that real quick. That's a big issue in the African community, right? We feel like you're a doctor, engineer, you should go buy the most expensive car, right? But those things are putting us more into debt. Just to show off, carry me, just to show that, hey, I'm flashy. But the funny thing is, I'll tell you my own personal story, right? When I didn't have any money years ago, when I was wearing Gucci, all those brand names, now that I have good money, I just wear a t-shirt. Because when you have something, you don't have to flaunt that you have it, right?
No.
You don't have to show that you have it. Just be, because people that don't have, sometimes we use those possessions to show that we have something. But people that really have something, they don't have to show up at all. And just to piggyback to what you said, let me give quick tips real quick about school, right? Don't go into millions of dollars to get student loans to go to school. There are cheaper ways to get it done. Like you said, right? You have scholarships, right? I would even say go to a 2-year college first. It's cheaper. It's the exact same curriculum, but it's cheaper. That's what I did. I went to a 2-year college first. It was way cheaper than a 4-year college. So I did 2 years there, right? When I got done with that, I now transferred my credits to a 4-year college. I worked as well. I didn't get any student loans. I got some grants, some scholarships, and that was how I went to school debt-free. So people that are going to school today, there are ways to get it done without getting student loans. People can tell you, oh, you need student loans. That's a lie. What I tell my nieces and nephew now, by 9th grade, 10th grade, start applying for scholarships. There's a bunch of money out there. Apply as much as possible. Don't go to this private college, get the student loans. People get like a degree in psychology, and you have 100K in student loans. Like, what are you going to pay back? So there are ways to go to school today without student loans. Don't let anybody. And the thing is, we get advice from poor people. The poor leading the poor. What's going to happen, right? The blind leading the blind. They're going to fall into a ditch.
Yes. Right.
So be careful who you get advice from. It's just going to be the same cycle over and over again.
Absolutely.
So what we'll discuss real quick, right? What is debt? Why should you get out of debt? Because people just want to be comfortable in debt. They don't want to get out of debt. So I'll discuss that as well. And how do you get out? That's the key part. How do you get it done? Then we'll get into maybe some Q&A as well. You want to go to the next slide? So a debt is just an obligation that you as the debtor pay back to your creditors. So it could be in the form of credit cards, student loans, car loans, right? But because of having debt itself, it's just that emotional toll on you, right? People live paycheck to paycheck, right? They feel like they're not making progress every single day. Or it could just be the money you lose, because when you get loans, right, you pay interest. That's what you pay for getting loans. Imagine if you can take that interest you pay every single month and invest that money. That's like money you can be saving for your kids in the future, right? So that's that's the cost of having debt. And what I've seen as well, that it could put constraint on people's lives. So people they have to do a job just to pay back those loans. People stay in jobs they don't like, jobs they just hate big time, and they are forced to go to those jobs, or jobs where their boss just treat them like like a piece of shit, right? And they just can't get ahead in life, right? So that's the toll that debt have on people. If you go to the next slide. So I'm a Christian, right? I'm just going to throw in this verse real quick. It's from Proverbs 22. It says, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender.
Yep.
That cannot be further than any truth on today, because people that are in debt, the rich are just making money off them anyhow. Then I found the one on the left. I found this picture on Instagram years ago, and when I saw this picture, it spoke volume to me big time. It says, modern slaves are not in chains, they are in debt. Mm. So slaves are no longer in chains anymore. The chain they are in now is the chain of debt, right? That's the chain, because they can't really live their full potential. They can't really live their full life, because those debts have kind of choked them so much where they can't do much. So that's the penalty we pay for having debt. And like I said, it just from one parent to the next child, and we just never progress in life big time. So if you go to the next slide.
Okay.
So this will get us into why should you get out of debt? Why should you, you're going to put some comments in the chat section. I'm just curious, why should you get out of debt? One thing I would say is time value of money. Like I said a while ago, right? If you go to the next one, I'm trying to explain everything. If you were paying student loans, right? And let's say you have 100,000 in student loans, your monthly payment is about 1,110 for that student loan. And if you were to take that monthly payment and invest that money, in about 30 years, that 1,110 would come up to about $1 million. And people think, oh, I can't become a millionaire, but that's how much, that's the money you trade away every single time with all those loans, right? So if you can think about the time value of money, those money you pay towards interest loans or interest payments and things like that, if you just take that money, invest it, it's going to grow big time to big money in the future. If you keep moving on the slides, I think this next one should show, so this is showing someone paying interest on loans. If they take that monthly payment, that same money in about 10 years, it's almost 200,000. And if you take that same money and just keep investing over 30 years, it's about $1,340,000 or so, right? So if you just think about the money, it's possible to become a millionaire, but we can't because we keep paying that money to all those credit cards and car companies and mortgage companies. So that's one thing we pay for debt. If you go to the next one again, it's our sanity, our dignity, and our freedom. Like I said a while ago, people stay in jobs to pay debt that they don't like those jobs. People feel like they're not free. They're stuck in this constant cycle of go to work, pay bills, go to work, pay bills, go to work, pay bills. But God made us to do more than that, not just go to work, pay bills. We can, if we can manage money well, we can break that cycle, go to work, make money, invest, and build generational wealth. The next one, your personal goals and family goals. No, if you go back, so if you ask this, right, what's your goal, right? For some, maybe not much. I know for me, it will build generational wealth. So that's one of the reasons why I want to get out of debt, build wealth, right? What are your financial goals? Do you want to buy a house for your mom? Do you want to travel more? You want to go to Nigeria? Do you want to invest in Africa? But those loans might be stopping you from doing those things. So, because it's good to mention this because your why is a key part of everything. If you don't have a strong why, you'll be in the same cycle every single time. Or if you don't have goals, you never go beyond where you are today. You need to have something that's pushing you to want to achieve those big goals, right? Like I said, my parents were not rich, but I want to be the one that says it stops in my own house. I'm going to build going forward. So you have to have goals. If not, you just be like this, just making payments and just thinking you're doing well. But like I said, you have to have a strong why. If you go to the next one, then this will get into, how do you get out of debt? How do you get out of debt? So I'll keep going. So the fastest way, there's no magic. You throw money as much as possible on your loans to pay it off. That's the easiest way to go, right? That's just the answer. You just have to find a way to make more money or manage your money well, get more money, and just pay off all those things. Just keep that momentum. Just keep paying as much as possible. I'm going to give about 4 or so steps to get it done.
So I have a question. Okay,
sure,
for sure. So I have been asked this question before. Somebody has credit card debts. Mm-hmm. They also have mortgage. They mm-hmm. also have student loan. Which one should they pay first, and why?
Okay, that's a good question. I was actually going to touch on that, but let me answer that. So the way it's done, the way I coach my clients is that you rank your debt from lowest to highest. That's how you do it from the lowest one to the highest one. So the way that works is you take your credit card, if that's the lowest one, do those ones first. If you have student loans, do that one next. So I'll go through, I think one of the slides. I'll go to the full details on that, but we'll answer that question. That's a big question, and that has to be discussed. So the first thing, you have to stop borrowing money. If you find yourself in a hole, stop. You have to stop digging first. If not, you keep going down, right? So to get out of debt, stop borrowing money. And this could be if you are one of those impulse shopper. Maybe you just stop, shopping that much, right? Or maybe you just go hide your credit cards, use cash. Or if you have the one click on Amazon. So it's so funny these days, right? They made things so easy where if you just click on one button, you just get boxes coming to your house from Amazon. Before you know, just boxes, right? Because when they make things so easy, people buy more, people shop more. You don't even have to pull out your credit cards anymore or your cards anymore. You just click on one button. That good shoe is on by your house, right? So find ways to stop borrowing money. I also advise people, right? Make sure you have insurance, because if you don't have insurance like car insurance, health insurance, if something happens, you go back into debt. One thing as well, have an emergency fund, because when people don't have emergency fund, when something happens, they just go get the credit card again. They go into more loans. So have some emergency fund where if something happens, you won't go back into debt. You can dig into your emergency fund to pay back those expenses, right? So you have to have those things in place to help you avoid going further into debt. You had a question?
Yes, I want to, if it's okay, I want to chip this in. I have been managing my pressure to buy more things, especially during COVID. As you know, during COVID, we're all on our phones a lot more than we were before now because we are at home.
Yes.
And what that means is digital marketers have an opportunity to push products to us in a very a pleasant manner. And because of technology, these people are listening to us. They can literally hear the things that you say you like. So if you discuss about dishwashing soap done now, I can guarantee for sure I can't see you. So I wanted to mention that during this time, right, what I've also noticed is that, let me try and find them. So what I'm explaining is if your profile is not set such that they can't listen to you, I can tell you that every conversation that you're having is being listened to. What that means is your phone, if you turn on some stuff on there, they can listen to you. So if you're talking about anything, you will definitely be getting advertisements on those things. And buying it is so easy. All you need to do is press a button and you're buying it already. So I want to encourage you that during this COVID time, you need to be asking yourself valuable questions of, what do I really need this thing for? Is this a need or a want? So I've learned to differentiate a need from a want in my own head. The needs are things that if I don't have them, my life cannot continue. I try to have those. The wants are things that I kind of like this. But do you need it right now? All the fine clothes that you're buying right now, are you wearing them to go somewhere? No, nobody's going to weddings now because of COVID. Nobody really needs a lot of shoes, a lot of stuff right now. So you need to rethink every decision you make. Yes, digital marketers are pushing stuff to us. Every conversation we're having, they are using it to push the right products to us. But you need to kind of make mental note of that. Make mental note of that. Every platform now has a selling platform. Facebook too have started selling platform. Amazon, all you need to click is just click one button on somebody's advertisement and you're paid for the product. Ask yourself, will I die if I don't have this product? Is this product important for my survival during this COVID-19 period? Is this product really what I need? If you don't need those products, don't buy it. Don't buy it. Invest your money wisely. Please do. Let me try and see if I can add Funshaw back. Welcome back.
I'm back. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
All right. So I was explaining about digital marketing, how it works these days, that because of COVID, we are all on our phones, and digital marketing, they are taking advantage of the fact that they have access to hearing what we're saying. That you can even find out that the conversation you're having on the phone with your sister, or you're talking at home about something with your husband, you'll start to see the advertisement of that thing show up on your phone. They will just show up. So we need to kind of understand what is the want and what is the need. If you need something that you think during this COVID, I need this to be able to survive, those are the things you must buy. If it's a want that you just want it, but it's not a need, we need to differentiate that and kind of know that we need to not buy. And these days, all you do is click a button on Instagram, you have bought some outfit, you have bought this and that. Ask yourself, will I die if I don't have this outfit? Will I die if I don't have this tool? And just remember the psychology of digital marketing, that all this advertisement that is being pushed to you is because of the fact that you are talking about it, and that is why they are pushing it to you. Ask yourself those questions about need and want, and make sure that you try to discipline yourself. It is critical. You need to you need to have a goal that you want to achieve in a year. Maybe your goal is, I want to pay off 30,000 of my debt. In 2018, I paid off 50,000 for different loans that I had. So I had that car loan that I told you I bought, that Kia Sportage car. So I had some different loans that I've accrued to about 50,000. And I made up my mind that this is the year I'm going to pay this loan off. So I was frugal with my savings. I was not traveling anywhere for vacation. For that year, there was no vacation for me. I canceled.
That's what it takes.
I prioritized paying this. So every second I had, at that point, I also had to do like side jobs. Like some of us here, we do 9 to 5. You can go and do Uber. You can do delivery on the side if you are really saying, I want to pay this off this year. So when you leave your work, say you finish at 6 o'clock, you can say you want to do 3 hours of Uber. You can do 3 hours of something else. You can start a side business on the side to make money, to be able to attack this debt and pay it off. Because let's be honest with ourselves, 9 to 5 will not give you enough money to attack that debt. So you need to find something on the side to be able to attack that debt and pay it off, because 9 to 5 will not cut it if you're trying to pay off a debt. So please, I know you don't want to do those media side job. You don't want a side gig. That side gig, I had a friend who did Uber for a year and was able to make 20,000 from Uber to attack a debt, right?
Okay.
So I want you to consider, if you're listening to this today, I want you to consider inconveniencing yourself for 1 year to tackle your debt and be able to pay it off. You cannot do it by just depending on your 9 to 5. Find something else to hack. Be wary of digital marketing. They are listening to us. They are taking what we say we want, and they are pushing stuff up. Please be careful before you press those buttons. These days, you don't need to go on Amazon anymore. If you're on Facebook, you're on Twitter, they are bringing those advertisements. Just shut it down. Let them know that this advertisement is not relevant, so they don't bring it back. Okay? They'll ask you, is this relevant or not relevant? Tell them it's not relevant, so that they will not click. Because if it keeps popping up, one day you click it and you bought it, right? That's
exactly.
No,
you have to stop it. No, I think the key thing though is if you have your goals, right, then that should drive you to delay this gratification. Because if not, you just be impulse buying every single time. So you have to delay gratification. If not, I know it's tough, but you have to find it, because there's research done that when people pay with cards, they spend more compared to when they use cash. Even today, it's not more easy with Apple Pay. You could just take your phone, right, put it on the machine, double click, and you pay for it. Because once they remove that, because when you pay cash, you're like, man, this $50, this is big money, let me hold it back. But when you use card, or even today, when you do the one-click shopping, it's so easy where you don't feel the pain of that you're buying something. And the more they can do that, the more people buy. The more you impulse shopping. So that's how they get you to buy more every single time. But if you have your own goals, just ignore those advertisements, those commercials, and just keep putting that money towards your goals. So I think the next one on paying off the debt is to find ways to minimize the interest payments. So what you can do with this is that you can find ways to refinance that loan to a lower interest loan. So find ways to refinance, right? Because one, I said a while ago that you have to stop borrowing money. The second one is, minimize the interest you have to pay. That way you can refinance to a lower interest rate. I know the government in the US have this thing where they defer or they stopped interest of student loans due to the COVID issue going on. That's a perfect time for people to pay off their loans as well, because there's no interest after all. All you're doing is just, paying your principal. You can also find a credit union. So I had a client of mine where they were in loans for a car, the interest was just crazy, right? So what we did in our coaching session was she was able to go to a credit union to get a loan amount for the car and pay off the car loan. The credit union gave her a lower interest rate. So she paid off this big interest she just paid off the car company, right? And she now has the loan now with the credit union, but it's at a much lower interest rate. So the interest you pay over the life of the loan is way much lower than if she went with the car company, right? So those are ways you can minimize your interest charges. I also put in, do not consolidate, because when you consolidate, you have all your loans into this big jumbo loan, and those loans take much longer. Sometimes they have a higher interest, and when people don't get any traction, they lose motivation, and they just find that they end up being a loan much longer. The next thing I'm going to show on the next slide, this is the key part. I think you have to get this done. I'm so happy Dr. Addy said she did this on a platform, budgeting. You need a budget. I can't overstress. If you can get just one thing from this session, you need a budget. You need a budget.
It didn't show properly.
Well, I'm going to explain what the budget is, right? A budget is pretty much a plan telling you how you spend money for the month. Funny enough, before this call this morning, I was just balancing my budget for the month of July. So what I do every month, before the month starts, I say, okay, I'm going to make this much money this month, right? Based on the last few months, right? You kind of have a ballpark what you make. So before the month starts, I have a plan that says, okay, out of my income, I'll pay this much money for tithes, for giving, for mortgage. So I assign every dollar to a category for that month. So when the money comes in, I'm not thinking, hey, I have to go buy this Gucci shoe. No. There's already a plan before the month starts that says this money is going to this, it's going to that. That way, when the money comes in, all I'm doing is just executing my plan, right? And that's what every company does. Even your salary is on the budget, because they know each month we have to cover our expenses. So imagine yourself, because most people just live life like money comes in, it goes out. You just swipe by card, right? But there's no plan for that money. For me personally, I do it every single month. So I will say, okay, this much money is for grocery. This is for eating out for this month. This is for personal items. If I want to go cut my hair or do anything, there's money for every single thing. So a budget tells you, like, people hate that word budget, but it's a plan. And it's up to you to say, okay, if you want to buy Gucci, it's fine. So far, it's in the budget for that month. Just make a plan and work your plan. For me, budget helps me. So it helps me not spend more than I make every month. And I can tell you every month, I never spend more than that, because from that budget, I can tell you, okay, every money coming as an income has been assigned to something. Sometimes I will have extra left. Then I can just, okay, maybe I can put, and sometimes something can come up, right? You can say, oh, family issue came up. All you have to do is just move that money from one category to the next to cover your expenses, but you never spend more than you make each month. If you do that, you never get ahead in life with your money, right? The budget also, if you have budget as well, if you say, okay, I'm paying off my loans, but I need more money, it also tells you, hey, maybe you need to go do Uber, go make more money. Because when you don't put it on paper, you don't have any plan. But if you put it on paper, you can now say, okay, maybe I need more income to cover all my expenses. Maybe I need to do Uber, do DoorDash, do something else, any side hustle. I need to sell, or maybe do like a big sale, sell what's in your house, sell all your old clothes. Do something to make more money so you can cover your monthly expenses. For budgeting, there are different ways to do it. But for me, I use an app called Every Dollar. That's what I use personally, right?
Every Dollar.
Yes. So everydollar.com. It's an app where you can put in your income for each month, and you can assign each category, right? There's also Mint. Some people use Mint, mint.com, mint.com. You can get an app as well. It can help you budget. You can do the old school. Just get your paper and pen and Bible, like say Ninja. Just write down your money, whichever one works for you. But the main plan is that you have a plan for each month. You have a plan that says, this is how much I'm going to make. This is how much I'm going to spend it. One of my clients that I work with, right, when we did a budget for her for that month. So she told me, okay, I spend money on this. So she gave me all her spending pattern, right? When we did the budget for her for that month, there was still extra 2,000 left. I'm like, okay, where is this money going? If this is what you spend each month, where is this money? She couldn't account for that money. She could not account for that money because there was no budget. She couldn't tell you, oh, I spent this money to do this. So one thing we found, and for people listening as well, find time to do a budget. Even if you just go back the last few months, figure out how much you made and compile how much you spent for each month and see if one is more than the other, right? And find a way to balance that equation, right? So because one thing I found, budgeting, for my client, that's one thing we do every single session. When I do coaching for my clients, we do a budget and we figure out their cash flow. Because when you do a cash flow, you can tell you can say, okay, am I spending more money at Red Lobster or at McDonald's, at Burger King? When they don't do a budget, they can't tell you how the money is spent. So that's the key part of. So if you learn one thing today, work on the budget. Then let me discuss, okay, how do you pay off your debt? How do you now get it done? So there are two options, right? There's one called debt avalanche. Do you have that slide, or if not, I can just go to the next one. So there's something called debt avalanche. So what that means is that you asked me a while ago, if you have credit cards, car loans, school loans, mortgage, the debt avalanche, that plan is that you list all your debts from the highest interest.
Let me get the slide. Give me a second.
Okay. Discussion about time to do a budget. Were you able to get it?
Yes.
Okay. So there are two options, right? There's one called the debt snowball, and there's one called the debt avalanche. The avalanche is that you list all your debt from the highest interest to the lowest interest. And the plan for that one is that you pay off the highest interest first and work your way down to the lowest interest. The plan is that so you can get rid of the highest interest before going to the lowest one. That's one plan. That's not what I recommend for my clients. The one I recommend is what is called the debt snowball. The way that one works is that you list your loans from the smallest loan to the highest loan. Don't worry about the interest charge. You list from the lowest amount, if it's credit card, whatever it is, list from the lowest amount to the highest amount. And the plan is you pay the minimum payment on all your loans. Pay minimum on every single loan. And when you do your budget and you have extra money, you put that extra money on the lowest amount, right? So once again, you pay the minimum on every single one. Don't skip payment, because that's what you're not getting into issues with your credit. So pay minimum on the smallest one, on the next one. So on every single loan, pay the minimum amount. The extra money you make for that month or any side also, you put that extra money on the lowest one. When that lowest one is now paid off, you go to the next lowest one, you pay minimum on everything again, and you keep throwing any extra money on the lowest one. This, to me, works because when you pay off the smallest one, you get some momentum, because we as humans, right, when you don't feel like you're making progress, you lose interest. So when you start from the lowest amount first, when you pay that one off, you have that ginger. Okay, I've done something good. Let's go to the next one. So that one will motivate you to now say, let me pay off the next one. And if you want, after each payment, you can celebrate. Maybe go for a nice dinner, go to movies. So that's the picture of the debt avalanche, right? You don't care about the amount you pay from the highest interest, but the debt snowball, you pay from the smallest amount to the highest one. So just keep throwing money, and before you know, so each single payment that is gone, you keep adding, getting more money to now put on your debt, right? Until you get to the biggest one and you pay it off. So that's the biggest thing to pay off your debt. One, you stop borrowing money. Number two, you minimize your interest payments. Number three, you do a budget so you can understand your cash flow. That part is I can't stress that one enough. You need to have a budget because it tells you how your money is going out. Then the last one, you attack your debt with the debt snowball, where you pay minimum on everything and any extra payments you put on the smallest debt. That's pretty much the entire plan. Like I said, I do have coaching sessions where I'll meet with clients. I'll go through the entire cash flow, their money, how money comes, how money goes out. Then we'll discuss paying debt, investing. But you have to have a plan. The key thing though, have a plan. That's the key thing. Have a plan. And if you can join ABC as well, African Business Club, we have a bunch of people that are doing great things with their money, with businesses, with investing. You can plug in because we also have to be, I like what you said a while ago about reading books, keep learning, right? I've learned so much now compared to when I was in school because I keep reading, I keep learning, I keep reading seminars, podcasts, audiobooks, keep learning. If you can find people that are like-minded, like ABC, you have to join us as well because people that are like-minded, they motivate you to, you know what, I'm going to do better because my friends are doing better. They're going to push you to do better as well. We'll hold you accountable to get it going.
Yes.
I guess we can take questions or any.
Yes,
feedback.
guys, I think we have 5 to 6 more minutes. We would like to take some of your questions. If you have questions, please drop the question in the question box to make it easy for us to read. The question box is open. Please put in your questions on money management, debt, or anything else. So thank you so much, Funsho, for the opportunity to kind of
Thank you for having me
today. I'm learning. I use mint.com, so I learned today about every dollar that comes. So I'm gonna look up that and learn a few things from it. So I wanna contribute this a bit on budgeting. One thing that I have seen in the Black community is we are impulsive. We are impulsive with our buying.
Yeah,
we don't think it through. Somebody is pressuring you that let's go and eat outside. Now you go outside and eat $100 food. Please, let's kind of think about those impulse, because those little things we buy, they kind of accrue together. The second thing I want to say is like-minded people. You need like-minded people. If you have friends that all you people talk about is only God and family, you need another set of friends that talks to you about money. You cannot just have a particular and say, these are my friends. That's it. You need to open up your friend circle to include those ones who are financial thinking, who are thinking about investing their money. They're thinking about financial discipline, financial intelligence. So I want to encourage you to broaden your scope on what friendship should mean. I'm not saying you should dispose those people that you talk about God and children with. You should find new friends to talk to about money. When people who are like-minded are together, they do wonderful, wonderful things. So please do that. We've learned about debt snowball. You may be here and thinking, I don't have any debt yet. Just try to not get yourself into debt. Please,
and start investing if that's the case. If you don't have any debt, make sure you have emergency fund and start investing in mutual funds, in stocks. Make your money work for you, because your money works 24 hours a day, but you can only work for so long, right? So your money has to work for you. Invest your money. There was a question that came that someone said, if you have if you don't have a defined monthly income. So with that one is what we call an irregular monthly income. So the way that one works is that if you know what's your minimum that comes in every month, then work based on that minimum, and any extra will now go towards any other goals you have for that month. But you should have an idea of what's a typical minimum for each month based on the issue, right? And do your budget based on that amount, and make sure you have a list of what, if I get more money for that month, what am I going to do? Then when the money comes extra, do those things in a priority. What happens when people don't have a plan, they do impulse shopping a lot. So the big thing is have a plan, because once you have a plan, when the money comes in, you just work in your plan. You know, and it takes sacrifice. If you want to be the one in your family to break that curse of poverty, you have to sacrifice. It's painful. You might not wear Gucci for a decade, but it's sacrifice for the future.
Yes. So. I want to ask about emergency fund. How much should our emergency fund be for beginners, for different portfolios?
So if you're getting out of debt early, we always say about 1,000. I'll say between 1,000 and 5,000. With COVID, I would say maybe get up to about few thousands, right? Just to have cushion for any issues that come up. But if you have a good job, there's no issues, with the finances per se. We do 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So if you can figure out what's your typical monthly expenses, I have about 3 to 6 months. For me, I have 6 months expenses. One of my goals for next year is to go to a full year expenses saved. So if, God forbid, if I lose my job or something happens, there's some cushion to cover my expenses. That's you need the emergency fund. So it's 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses saved. Don't touch that money. It's just for emergencies. If you spend that money on something, once you spend it for that emergency, spend some time to replenish that amount and keep it in a savings account. Don't touch it for Gucci shoe or any non-emergency expense.
So I want to add a few things to that emergency fund for all of us that are living abroad. Is that sometimes we have emergencies that are related to our houses, or your car has a problem. We have to fix it, or somebody dies back home. So you cannot afford to not have a savings account with a certain amount of emergency fund.
Yes.
At least 3 months, because when you have these emergencies, if you're in this part of the world alone, you don't have anybody to fall back on. You don't have a family member. You don't have anybody to go to. So if they are saying emergency fund, they are literally calling your last name, because that is your, when you have to fall back, that is what you need to fall back on. So we cannot afford to joke with that. I want you to touch a bit on when we were talking about, budgeting. What do you think most part of our budget should focus on? How much should we allocate for each of those? What is the minimum or maximum in terms of how much should you be paying for your rent, percentage-wise? How much should you be paying for different things, so that people can know whether they are living beyond their means or not?
Okay. So when I work with my clients, right, for me, and I'm not going to impose my views, right, 10% always goes to God, right? It's just me. I'm a Christian. It goes to my church and to giving, right? Then I would say about 25% to 30% should be on your housing. So your mortgage or your rent, that somewhere in that ballpark, because you shouldn't be paying half of your income as mortgage. You cannot build wealth if you're paying half of your income as mortgage. So keep your living expenses as low as possible. So for a mortgage, about 25% to 30% in that ballpark. 30-something, it's fine, right? So that way you're not what they call house poor, which means more of your income is going towards your mortgage. That means you're house poor, because there's nothing left for other things. I would say about 50% to be for personal utilities, groceries, your day-to-day expenses, your bills, right? Do that. Some more questions.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was, so like I said, so about 10% for giving, for tithe and things like that. So about 10%. For your housing, 25% to 30% should be going towards housing. I say don't be house poor, because when you pay too much money on housing, there'll be nothing left to take care of other things. About 50% towards your normal day-to-day expenses, your bills, other things that come out, your personal stuff, groceries, eating, and things like that, right? Then other things for like miscellaneous, right? Just if you have debt, try to put some money towards that as well to pay it off as soon as possible. For me, I do 15% investment every month. So I invest 15% every single month. So that goes to mutual funds, stocks, all my investments. So I do that as well. So that's what I would say. So one of my favorite books, right? It talks about pay yourself first. You have to pay yourself first. What does that mean? It means when you get your paycheck every single month, before you pay any bills, anything, put some money towards investments. Because that's how you build wealth. Put some money towards investments. So you pay yourself first. Before you pay, light, water, all those things, pay yourself first. Put some money. And I know in the US it's much easier, right? Which I'm sure in Canada as well, where you can tell your employer to put some, if it's 10%, 15%, you can tell them to put that money towards your 401k. So that's what I do. So before I get my paycheck, the money has been taken away from my account. The good thing is I don't feel it when the money comes to me, because I don't even see the money at all. The money is just going there automatically, right? Going into investment. So people wonder, how do I build wealth? That's how you build wealth. And like I said, I did that, and within about 10 years, I'm getting close to 7 figures net worth based on just investing, in real estate. Everything is possible. If you just have your mind to it, if you believe that it can be done, everything is possible.
I have another question for you. So should somebody
Sure.
who is currently attacking their student loan and all the loans, should they also still be investing?
So my that stop investing, pay off all your debt. Because think about it, right? If you have credit card debt, right, or credit card and car loans, most times the interest rate on those loans are more than what you get in investing. So it makes no sense to be investing, but paying that money for car loan and credit cards, right? The mortgage is fine because that's where I am now. The mortgage is fine, but for like car loans or on any other consumer debt, right, most time the interest on those loans are much higher than the average return on the market. I know it's tempting to want to invest. People are saying, "Oh, stocks." But sometimes you just have to have your own plan. The stocks will be there every single day. So pay off your debt first, then you can free up money into investments. So that's what I advise. Just attack the debt first, then invest. If you want to do both, it's up to them to, it's a personal choice if you want to do both. But my advice, because the thing is, you want to put, if you have different bullets and you're going in different directions, right? You don't have that much power. But if you focus everything into one spot, you get momentum, you get power. That one is done. Go to the next thing.
Great. Right? There's a question I just pinned it on there. If you have questions about how do you tackle, I know that today we're not talking about RRSP, TFSA, 401k, Roth account, Roth IRA, because the focus today is on let's understand your debt and income ratio. Let's know what you should think about to make sure that you have a good balance. What should you save? How much should you be paying on your rent? If you are currently living in Toronto, or you are paying 40% of your rent from your income, 40% of your income is allocated to your rent, you are overpaying. You should find a roommate. You should not live alone anymore because you cannot afford it, because that is too much budget for just rent alone. If you are thinking that your expenses apart from rent is covering 60% of your income, I think that is too much. You should cut down on your personal expenses. You should cut down on how many days you are eating outside. What are the things you are buying? Cut down. So we need to look at your debt income ratio to make the right decision that are financially inclined. You cannot just use all your money to pay for a house for somebody else. So please think through that. If you currently live alone, find a roommate. If you need to do, I don't expect you to go and do side hustle, like you're doing Uber, only to be able to pay for where you live. That doesn't make sense. If you're doing Uber, it's because you want to attack a certain loan. One thing that I have learned a lot is that my worth is not determined by the house that I live in and the car that I drive. My worth is determined by how much investment I have or how much of my loan have I paid. So you need to define, how are you valuing yourself? Don't value yourself like the Nigerian and African community value themselves. Like they value you based on what car you drive.
What car you drive?
They value you based on what neighborhood you live.
The Joneses,
or what house you drive, or how you dress to church. You know, when we go to this Nigerian church, those ushers from the door, they start to
have to wear a nice suit.
Head to toe.
Wear a nice suit.
Whether they will tell you to go left or go right. The left is where the rich people are. So they kind of gauge you that if you're not wearing Gucci, you should go to this place. You need to have a focus and let you be the one to determine your own self-worth.
Exactly.
Don't let the outside world help you do that. Think about where you are going. So don't invest on a car because you want to have a Velar Range Rover so that your people can know that you are arrived. You don't need that right now. Because if you are paying 25% of your income on car loan,
Mm-hmm.
car notes, that's too much. If you're paying 50%
That's a lot.
of your income on rent or mortgage, that's too much. So
Mm-hmm.
you personal things you buy for houses, if you're paying 60%, that's too much. Think about for now, for the next 1 year, you may be or 2 years or 3 years, you can be frugal so that you
Mm-hmm.
can have good return on investment. Be frugal with your savings, be frugal with paying off your debt,
Yeah.
so that you can now have something invested so that you can start to gain dividends from that investment, and you
Mm-hmm.
can use that to go and buy something else. I
Exactly.
have a story to share about someone I know who a couple of years ago bought shares. Instead of, when I was buying car, the person was buying shares.
Okay.
And in December, in January, when all those funds were announcing their third quarter
Earnings.
money,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
this
All the
guy just
dividends.
went and jacked brand new car. Because after 3 years, I went and carried car sportage in the beginning.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He took all the money he was making. He was buying stocks, right?
Yep.
And in
And
January,
even the return to buy car, right?
yes, he now went and sold some of his stocks when Tesla and all of them were announcing their earnings, and bought a nice car, right, for
Exactly.
himself. Delay gratification, delay
Mm-hmm.
gratification, delay
Yep.
gratification.
Yep.
I
Yep.
cannot overemphasize that. I think, if you have questions, please ask. We want to make sure that we cover, I know you want to hear about 401k, you want to hear about all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Today is not
Yeah,
the
they should
day for
ask
you
your
for that.
questions.
If you guys feel like this is a topic, we will bring Funshaw back, and we'll bring Kleke or somebody from, there are many in the African Business Club. They like me small. They like me because of my energy. I'll go and energy them and bring another financial
Ginger them.
to teach another topic. My
Okay.
aim is that I'm not going to win alone. If I'm winning, I will drag you, I will push you, I will carry you. Together. We will win together, because it is critical that we don't have one champion in Black community and everybody
Exactly.
follow. I
Exactly.
believe that you can level up. I put my hand like this. I want you to level up like this. I know it's possible. If you stay true to course, if you apply discipline, if you plan, if you budget properly, and if you really know what you're doing and not let society pressure you. Don't let anybody use social media, even to attention people. Don't let me tension you.
Don't tension me.
Please help us answer this person's question.
Tension for you. That's what they call the Joneses. Don't keep up with Joneses, man. Joneses, they are broke. Don't keep up, man. Just have your own lane. Follow your lane.
Yes.
So someone is asking, I want to start a site also. So this question is, I know for Uber, I've not done Uber before, but I know they require to have a certain model of car or a certain year of car, right?
Mm-hmm.
My thing would be, if you can buy the cheapest car as possible for Uber, that still applies without getting into debt. Because if you go lease a car, right, your monthly payments might offset how much you make with Uber, right? With COVID going on, nobody is going anywhere. Everybody's home. So you don't want to go pick up a car lease or a car payment to do Uber where you might not even make that much money. Or so to that person, maybe do DoorDash or maybe do something else that doesn't require a fancy car but can still make money. So there are a bunch of ways to do side hustles. So I would say just be mindful to get a car that's good, but don't go into more debt, more loans to do Uber. Don't do that to yourself. Someone asked from one of the questions about T-bills. So T-bills are treasury bills, right? They're mostly backed by the government. So it's a good investment, but it's not a good return compared to like stocks or mutual funds. Single stocks are very volatile, right? You can make more money and lose more bunch of money as well. But I do mostly mutual funds. But T-bills, like that person asked, T-bills is fine. It's more stable. It's almost like a savings account, but with very small return on investment.
Yeah,
mutual funds are much higher. So T-bills, I know someone asked, T-bills are okay, but
so I want to add that on the African Business Club, we have stocks group.
yes,
I'm part of the stocks group.
okay.
You're not there. You're not on our stock group. So if you join African Business Club, you can talk to them and say you want to be a part of the stocks group. In the stocks group, we have day traders, we have people buying everything. Investors who are investing in mutual funds, T-bills, all of those things. But you also have those ones who are, well, the only thing we don't trade forex, but we trade stocks. We have, you know, the best guys there doing day trading, making tons of money on a daily basis. But we also have people like me, slow learner. We're just maintaining our lane of let me just buy long-term investments.
Investment, yeah.
And they will teach you a lot of things about stop limit, stop market. How do you make sure that even in a volatile market, you don't lose money, right? You put a stop limit there so that when it's all coming down, you kind of are able to sell. How do you trade in pre-market? So pre-market, you can buy pre-market a lot of things cheaper, and then you can sell it when the market is on, or you can at least take advantage of pre-market. What platform is best for you if you are trying to learn to invest in Canada or the US? I think you should join that group. I'm not. This is free advertisement. Proceed at your own caution. But I'm sharing based on what I have learned from the two platforms the African Business Club created. I think I've learned a whole lot about how to trade stocks. I've made, you know, this COVID period, people, you know, COVID period, especially in March, a lot of those stocks just came down like this. You know, when I bought Tesla in March, I bought my Tesla for 480. And look at what Tesla is selling today. Tesla is at 1600.
Ridiculous.
Imagine if you have joined our African Business Club in March. I put 450 in Tesla, you will be at 1,600 right now. Right? So why am I telling you this? Because that money is working for you. I remember some days in April, like I will sleep, I'll wake up, I'll go and check my stock account. My money has gone up. I say, I've done witchcraft. People, I slept, wake up, money has entered. Why? As a local African girl, like I say this to you because I feel like, you know, your money can work for you. Instead of that money not working for you, you are working for your money. You work for your money, let that money also work for you. I want you to also level up. I want you to be able to buy houses and not be asking me, how did I do it? I want you to be able to do it. And not just even buy one house, buy plenty. Because it's possible. Last week we learned about buying the blocks, right? We don't want to just buy one house. We want to buy the entire block. And it's possible. We have not come to America to just come to America. We have come to America to lead, to dominate, to establish our children. Our children will be Americans. They need to be able to have something. So they won't join the hustle and be slaving away in America. What future are you trying to create for your children? You should be asking yourself that. So I know we didn't touch a lot. What maybe in the future when we have to bring you back, we would be very honored if somebody come from African Business Clubs, come and share about, you know, 401k. How should you manage 401k? Because
I can always come back with that. Yeah.
Yes, everybody works, right? We have full-time jobs. Usually, every company give you that 401k, and some people never checks what is there. So they are not.
Some people don't even contribute.
Yeah, some people don't know how much should I be contribute minimum for me to be able to have $1 million in so time. What should I be contributing monthly now? So people don't know that.
Exactly.
And some people are even saying skip that. I don't want to contribute, not knowing that they need that, right? So maybe in the future we'll bring you back. You explain a bit more about that concept. How does it work? How can you be doing self-directing? So you are self-directing instead of somebody just investing for you what they think is right. You can lend this and self-direct your funds and investments, so you are in control. Not somebody, not that company is just the one controlling your investment. All of these are possible. Without you understanding this, we will continue to work as Africans and not make a lot of money, and we will be wondering, how does the white people do it?
That's why. So with African Business Club, we have what we call the financial literacy discussion series, right? So we do it every 2 weeks on Sundays. We have a Zoom meeting. We bring a speaker on different topics, on stocks, day trading, on real estate, investment, on different topics, life insurance, right? And we bring people to come discuss, different speakers, different experts to come and talk to us, because like I said, our goal is to normalize financial literacy, because we didn't discuss finances at home. It was a taboo. No one taught us how to manage money. It was, if you ask for money, they would say, "Probably buy, man." No one gave you that money. So our goal as that group is to normalize those teachings, make people, let them understand stocks, 401k, investing, all those things. That's so for people asking, just go to our IG page, follow us on IG, send us a request as well, and we can have you join the group as well.
Yeah, so if you are asking, you can send them a request, send me a request, I'll connect you to them. I want to make sure that I'm not selfish with information, that I'm sharing as much as possible with everyone on my platform so you can benefit. I also share some of their bi-weekly meetings where they're talking about different topics. I share them on my pages because I want you to learn all of these things. I just don't want to preach tech. If you know tech and you don't know money, you will still be poor last. So we want to make sure that we're aligning our career, we're also aligning our finances. Everything is working hand in hand.
You have
Information
to.
is power. Knowledge is
It is.
important, and the Black community must thrive. And I'm
You
very,
have to.
very
You have to.
thankful for the opportunity to have you on our show. I don't
Oh,
want to
thank you
keep
so
you for
much.
so long. I think we will end it here.
Okay.
My last word for you, if you are being a follower, you have been on my page several times, you've attended several quarantine with Dr. Addy, you see that I flip-flop. One moment I'm talking about remote work, the other moment I'm talking about finance, the other moment I'm talking about scholarship, the other moment I'm talking about relocation. Today I'm talking about marriage and hustling with finding a boyfriend. The reason for that is you have to be a whole one. You have to
You
be a
have
whole
to.
one. You cannot just have one of your life or one part of your life going on and the other one is stagnant. So this is why I try to touch different topics. It's important for us to be a whole one. Our community will thrive if our people will share more, if our people
Exactly.
will try to help one another. I'm doing this for free. African Business Club, their platform is also free. You are not paying anything out there. You're just joining so that somebody or from the team help you manage your finance. I love you. I'm an African, always loyal. And this is me saying goodbye from Indiana, Ogafusho. We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
you.
It's such a pleasure. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, give us your last word before we depart.
Oh, one, like I always say, right? This quote, I like it so much. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can never pour from. So always invest in yourself. Always add value to yourself. So that way, it starts first from within. Then you can help others. You can help family. You can change, for your family. But it starts from you. Take the plan. Take the action to do something different for your own life. That way, you can help others and and that's my goal, to be a blessing to others through all the platform I'm involved in to help others. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure. We need to do this again.
Thank you. Definitely. We'll be right back.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all. Enjoy your weekend. And this is goodbye again.
Bye.